Hi, my name is Astrid, and today we are going to go through the 2024 Mathematics Standard 2 HSC paper. It's that time of the year again, so let's get prepared. Question number 1. If x is negative 2.531, what is the value of x squared rounded to 2 decimal places? I can already cross off a and b because anything squared would be positive. So it's either C or D. Let's find out. We have negative 2.531 squared. Okay, now the problem with this is I didn't put the number in a bracket, so it's only squaring the 2.531 and then it's putting the negative in front of it. So really, what I should be doing is this. Put it in brackets and then squared. It should be positive. Now, rounding it to 2 decimal places would be 6.41. 1 should be D. Let's see if it's true. 1 is D. Now, number 2, consider the function shown. Which of the following could be the equation of the function? Okay. Now we know y equals mx plus b is the equation of a line. The m is the gradient, the b is the y-intercept. The gradient here is a negative slope. So immediately it's going to be either C or D because the gradient is negative 2. And then the y-intercept is here, seems like it's a positive number. So this is the only option. Therefore, I'm going to have to say 2 is C. Let's see if it's true. 2C. Number 3. Shoppers are invited to complete an online survey. What type of sampling is this? Self-selecting? Yes. Simple random? No, it's not random. Stratified? No. Systematic? No. So the only one it could be is self-selecting because the shoppers are only invited to and they themselves have to choose to do the survey. So it is self-selecting. 3A. 3A, good. Number 4, the map shows regions within a country. A network diagram is to be drawn to represent this map. Vertices will be used to indicate each region and the edges will be used to represent a border shared between 2 regions. How many edges will there be in the network diagram? Let's do it. Let's draw the network diagram. So each vertices is the place, and then each edge is representing a border shared between 2 regions. So here, there's a border shared between those 2 regions. This is shared between those 2. That's shared between those 2. This shared between those 2. That one. This one shared between these 2. And this one. Now I can't connect this coast to mountains because it's going into 3 regions. And the edges are only to represent borders between 2 regions. And I believe this is all I can make. I can't really... Nope, that'll cross 2 lines, that'll cross 2 lines. I think that's all I can make. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 is B. 4B, yes. Number 5. Pia's mark in Year 10 assessments are shown. The scores for each subject were normally distributed. In which subject did she perform best in comparison with the rest of Year 10? Let's have a look here. So the mean is 66. Standard deviation is 6. So what is that? 66 plus 6 is 72. Plus 6 is 78. So this is a z-score of positive 2. This one's 81, so it's a z-score of roughly a little bit more than just 1. 70 plus 15 is 85, so that is z-score is less than 1. 72 plus 9 is 81. Plus 9 again would be 90. So this is about 1.5, let's say. Therefore, the best one she's done is in English because she's done 2 standard deviations above the mean. Let's see. 5 is A. Yes, correct. Number 6. I have to not be in the way of the question. Consider the diagram shown. Which of the following is the correct expression for the length of x? Okay, this is a right angle triangle. That's important, so that way we can use trigonometry, SOHCAHTOA. From the 40 degrees angle point of view, this is the adjacent side, and this is the hypotenuse. Therefore, cos 40 degrees is going to equal to adjacent, which is x, over hypotenuse. Therefore, timesing 20 on both sides, we get x is equal to 20 cos 40 degrees, which is A. 6A, there we go, correct. Question 7. 3 years ago, the price of a uniform was 180 degrees. Due to inflation, the price increased annually by 2.5%. What is the price of this uniform now? It increased 2.5% 3 times because it was 3 years ago. That means we have to do 180 times 1.025 cubed. Let's see. $180 times 1.025. Where is cubed? Cubed. $193.84. 7D. Yeah. Good. A bit of explanation on this type of video. I am just doing the questions. I am not really explaining it. If you want further explanation of anything, please let me know and I'll do a separate video concentrating on that concept. But for this video, I'm just going through the questions as how I would do it as quickly as I can. Question 8. A bill for servicing a car is made out of $242 for parts, which includes 10% GST, $100 for labor excluding GST. The mechanic also needs to add 10% GST onto the labor charge. How much GST does the customer pay in total? Well, the labor GST is $10 because it's 10% of $100. Now, $242 is 110%, which means 100% of it would be 242. Let me just grab my calculator. It would be, oh, what is this? 242 divided by 110 times 100. It's $220. So the GST is $22. Together, total, it'll be $32. So 8C. 8C. Good. Question 9. The time taken to paint a school varies inversely with the number of painters completing the task. It takes 6 painters a total of 20 days to paint a school. How many days would it take 15 painters to paint the same school? Ooh, okay. The time taken to paint the school is inversely for the number of painters. Varies inversely, number of painters. It takes 6 painters a total of 20 days to paint the school. If that's the case, 20 equals K on 6. K is 120. Then how many days would it take for 15 painters? So 120 divided by 15. Eight. It'll take 8 days. So 9B. There we go. Question 10. Consider the formula S equals WT plus P on 2. Which of the following shows P as the subject of the formula? Let's quickly do this one. S equals, I'm going to times 2 to everything, to both sides. It's 2S equals 2WT plus P. And then I'm going to minus 2WT on both sides so I can get P on its own. So it's 2S minus 2. This one here, 10D. Let's find 10D. Oop. 10D, there we go. 11. A train left Richmond at 6:42 a.m. and arrived at Central Station at 8:04 a.m. The distance travelled by the train from Richmond to Central was 61 kilometers. What was the average speed of this train? Correct to the nearest kilometers per hour. How long did it take them? So 6:42 to 7:42 is 1 hour. Then 7:42 till 8:04 is how many minutes? So that's 22 minutes. Therefore, so it takes an hour, and so that's 82 minutes in total. And it went 61 kilometers per hour, so 61 kilometers per hours, eh? So it's 82 minutes. 61 kilometers in 82 minutes, which is how many in 60 minutes? So we would do 61 divided by 82 times 60. 44.63 kilometers. About 45. So I would say 11 is B. Yeah, very good. Question number 12. A survey of 370 people was conducted to investigate the association between watching anime and the age of the person. Well, I personally believe there should be no limit on the age of people who watches anime. Anyway, the two-way table shows the responses collected. Watching anime, does not watch anime, 30 years old and under, over 30 years old. Approximately what percentage of the over 30 years olds watch anime? Oh, this one here. 34. what percentage watches, approximately what percentage of the over 30 years olds, so not of everyone, just for the over 30-year-olds, watch anime. So it'll be 34 over 157. 34 divided by 157. 22%. Let's say 12C. Yeah. 13. Jose takes out a loan of $9,000. Simple interest is charged on the loan. The loan and the interest charged will be repaid by making monthly repayments of $300 over 4 years. What simple interest rate per annum to the nearest percent is charged on the loan? Alright, this is getting interesting. A loan of $9,000, 4 years, repayments of $300 per month for 4 years. What is that? What is that total repayment? The total repayment is 300 times 12 times 4. 300 times 12 times 4. $14,400 is the total repayment. 14,400. Okay, what's the interest? The interest would be 14,400 minus 9,000, which will be $5,400. That's the interest. Total interest, I should say, total. And then, can you still see? Yes. Interest per year is 5,400 divided by 4. Which is divided by 4, $1,350. If that's the case, what percentage is that over $9,000? So divided by 9,000, 15%. 13A. Let's see. 13A. I like it when I'm right. 2 more questions of this section. Ooh, I'm in the way now. Okay. Question 14. Year 11 is making pizzas to raise money for a charity. The cost C and revenue R in dollars when X pizzas are sold are represented by the equations. Enough pizzas are sold so that a profit is made. By how much does the profit increase for each additional pizza sold? Okay. First, we need to figure out how many pizzas is enough for there to be a profit. 1 pizza will not be profitable because it will cost $8.50 and you'll only make $8. So at least 2 pizzas are needed. If X is 2, it will cost $11. It will cost $11, so 2.5 times 2 is 5, plus 6 is 11. And the revenue would be $16, so you will make $5. If X is 3 pizzas are sold, the cost would be $7.50 plus 6, $13.50. And then the revenue would be $24. What So hang on, profit is $5 in this one. Profit is, what's this, 24 minus 13 and a half. I can't think right now. 24 minus 13 and a half, 10 and a half. $10.50. We'll do one more just to make sure we got it right. 4 pizzas are sold. It will cost $10, $16. We'll make $32. Profit will be $16. That means the profit is increasing at $5.50 for each pizza. How much does the profit increase? For each additional pizza sold, it increases by $5.50. 14b. Let's see. 14b, yes. Last question. Question 15. Some data are used to create a box plot shown. A histogram is created from the same set of data. Which of these histogram is not possible for the given box plot? All of these histograms are symmetrical, which is a good sign because the box plot is also symmetrical. Now, I mean, this one is giving me the birds, flipping me the birds. Very rude. But if we have a look at the box plot, it is quite... So the way the box plot works is that each section is a quarter of the data. Like that. And you can see that 50% of it is quite spread out. And this part here is very short. The bulk of the data is quite let me show you. So see how this is there, and then there's only a little bit that's at the end. That's what we like to see because this part in comparison is quite long to the tails. So these two, A and C, are in good shape. They have the shape needed to make this type of box plot. Now these two, this one is kind of tricky, but you can kind of see that the majority of the data is still in that section. Whereas for D, the majority is quite narrow. So if this was drawn into a box plot, it would be quite small with a longer tail. So I would say 15D, it's not possible for that one to be the box plot. There we go, 15D. And that concludes section 1. Let's move on to section 2. Let's get on with section 2. Question 16, 4 marks. A network of towns and distances between them in kilometers is shown. What is the shortest path from T to H? T to H. Alright, let's do this. If we go through Y, that's 68. If we go through Y, W, H is that longer? That's 35. No, that's actually shorter. So that's 65. It doesn't make sense to go that way. That's way longer. If we go T, J, C, W, H, that's 55, 70, 80, that's 100. That's way too much. If we go this way, that's even longer. If we go around, what's that, 78, So here almost, that's 100, over 100. Okay, so the shortest path would be T, Y, W, H. Let's check that first. T, Y, W, H, yes. B, a truck driver needs to travel from Y to G, but knows that the road from C to G is closed. Okay. We cannot move there. Closed. What is the length of the shortest path the truck driver can take from Y to G after the road closure? Another shortest path question. Where can we go? This way? That way? That doesn't make sense, does it? No, that doesn't make sense because we've got 25. Let me see how this goes. Problem is this is 55 kilometers this way. It's only 25 kilometers this way. So I think, let's do a few. 15, so that's 50, 75, that's 90. If we go Y, W, C, M, G, because that's 75 plus 15, that's 90. And then if we go, that's 35. So 35 plus 29 is 64, plus 25 is 89. So it's 1 kilometer less if we go this way. Would this make any sense? No, this won't make any sense. Would this go make sense? No, that won't make sense either. So by 1 kilometer less, we go Y, W, H, M, G. Y, oh, it's worth 2 marks. Oh, both of these are worth 2 marks. Probably should do some working out. Y, W, H, M, G. So we have 15 plus 20 plus 29 plus 25, which I believe is 89 kilometers. Yeah, they should have, it's worth 2 marks. I didn't see that. Should probably do some working out there to earn the 2 marks. Let's see what they say. Y, W, H, M, G, 89 kilometers. Excellent. Question 17, 2 marks. The cost of electricity is 30.13 cents per kilowatt hours. Calculate the cost of using 650 watts air conditioner for 6 hours. The usage would be, how many kilowatts is this? It's 0.65 kilowatts. That means it's using 0.65 of 30.13 cents per hour, and it's using it for 6 hours. This will be the cost equals, this should be actually 0.3. Let me just get rid of that. So it's 0.65 kilowatts, paying at 30 cents or 30.13 cents per, let me get this right, 30.13 cents per kilowatt hours. It's 0.65 kilowatt hours for 6 hours. I think that's right. 0.65 times 0.3013 times 6. It's $1.18. The cost would be $1.18. Or we could say 117.5 cents to be more accurate. Let's see what the question says. What the answers say. $1.18. Okay. I'm happy with that. Question 18, 3 marks. The diagram shows a network with weighted edges. Draw a minimum spanning tree for this network and determine its weight. All right. A minimum spanning tree would be the lowest value between these things. So between B and F, it's just 1. And then B, C, or FC are both 2, so I could pick either one. I'll pick FC. That's 2. And then to get to C, okay, G and H is 1. And then between these two, FG is shorter than HC, so I have to pick FG. That's a 3. HI is the shortest path, so that's 3. To get to J, this is the shortest path, so 4. To get to D, I have to do J to D, because that's the shorter one. Now, to get to A, well, E and A is 2, that's pretty simple. And then I have to put AB, because that's 4. I believe I've connected everything in the shortest possible way. That's the minimum spanning tree. What is the weight? 2, 6, 7, 9, 12, 13, 16, 20, 24. Let's see how I've done. 18. Yeah, looks good, looks good. Excellent, 24. Yay! Now, B. Is it possible to find another spanning tree with the same weight? Give a reason for your answer. Is it possible? Yes, it is, because B and C are BC is 2 and FC is 2. So if I had chosen BC, that would still be the same weight. Oops, I just tapped the mic. That would still be the same weight. It's only worth 1 mark, so I'm just going to go with that. So yes, use BC instead of FC, as the weight of BC is the same as the weight of FC. Yeah. Question 19, 3 marks. A teacher was exploring the relationship between students' marks for an assignment and their marks for a test. The data for 5 different students are shown on the graph. The least squares regression line is also shown. What is the equation of the least squares regression line for this data set? The equation of this line, as we had mentioned before, is y equals mx plus b, because it's a straight line. We need to get the gradient and we need to get the y-intercept. The y-intercept looks pretty easy to get. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the y-intercept is 6, b is 6. Now the gradient is rise over run. We just need to find a point that looks like a good point. This looks like it's risen 2. Rise over run. To get to there, it's what? 1.4. And then run, run is 1.4. So 2 divided by 1.4. Oh, that's not nice. 10 over 7. Let's stick with that. Therefore, the equation of the line is 10, 7 plus 6. Maybe they do want it to be a decimal. Let me see. 1.43. x plus 6. I'm going to check to see which way they want it first. 19a. 1.4, so they do want it to be 14 over 10. Let me see. On 14. Oh, they chose the very end point. Okay. So from 4 to 20, I mean from 6 to 20 is 14. Okay, let's do what they want us to do. From 6 to 14, no, 6 to 20, sorry. From 6 to 20 is 14. And then the run is 10. There we go. Now we get the nice 1.4. (1.4x). There we go. It shouldn't matter where we get the points from. We should have yielded the same number from whatever 2 points we get it from, but in this case we didn't. I don't know why. But yeah, they want you to choose the endpoint. That's a nice point. Okay, B. Another student whose marks are not on the graph scored 5 for the assignment and 12 on the test. Here. Did this student do better or worse on the test than the regression line predicts? Provide an answer. Provide a reason for your answer. It did slightly worse because it's below the regression line. I think that's all I have to say. It's worth only 1 mark. Let's see what it says at the back. Worst as the predicted mark was 13 instead of 12. Is it 13? Oh, yes, it is. Yep, it is 13. There you go. Question 20. 3 marks. The table shows the future value of an annuity of $1 for varying interest rates and time periods. Can invest $200 at the start of each year for 8 years at an interest rate of 5% per annum. Calculate the future value of Ken's investment for 1 mark. Important things are $200 for each year for 8 years, 5% per annum. So we're interested in the 5%. How many periods? 8, because it's every year for 8 years, so that's 8. So we're interested in this number here. That means we do 200 times 10.0266. And then this will be future value equals $200 times 10.2 no 0266 $2,005.32. Let's see if that was correct. $2,005.32. Now, B. Shay is planning to take a holiday in 3 years. I don't think this has anything to do with that one, so I'm going to get rid of everything. She needs $4,500 for this holiday and will make a regular 6 monthly payments into an account that earns interest rate at 4% per annum compounded 6 monthly. What is the minimum amount Shay needs to pay into the account every 6 months? Give your answer to the nearest $10. Support your answer with calculations for 2 marks. What are we looking for here? 3 years. 4,500 is what she needs. 6 monthly payments. Rate of 4% per annum. Compounded 6 monthly. Now, don't be tricked into putting in 4%. because it's 4% per annum, but it's compounded 6 monthly, so we are actually interested in 2% per 6 months. So we're actually interested in the 2% column. In 3 years, she's paying 6 monthly payments, so how many periods would there be? There would be double the amount of years, right? Because every 6 months, so it'll be 6. So we're actually interested in this one here. What is the minimum that Shay needs to pay into account every 6 months? So she needs to put in an X amount when, after everything, 6.4343 will give her at least 4,500. So X is gonna be equal to, wait, I got that sign wrong. Sorry. It should be greater than. What we want is for this amount to be greater than or equal to 4,500. So X should be greater than or equal to 4,500 divided by 6.4343. 4500 divided by 6.43. $700. $699.37 to the nearest $10 would be $700. So she needs to put in, you should really write a sentence at the, you can't see that. You should write a sentence at the bottom saying Shay needs to deposit at least $700 every 6 months, something like that, just to finish off the question. Let's see. Yes, $7 rounded to the nearest $10. Very good. Question 21, 3 marks. William has a reducing balance loan on which he owes $5,590. He makes monthly repayments of $110. The loan company charges an interest at 24% per annum. Wow, he made a bad choice. Compounded monthly. The spreadsheet shows some information for the next 2 months of the loan. Complete the series in the spreadsheet. The principal, interest, amount. Oh my goodness, he's not even repaying the interest. Oh no. Oh dear. What have we got here? 5590 plus 111.8 minus 110. Oh yeah, of course. So he's still owing 5590 1.8. So then 5591.8 interest is going to be 2% because it's 24% per annum. That means every month it's 2% per month. It's compounded monthly, and this is month 2, so we need to find what 2% of this amount is. So we times it by 0.02. It's creeping up. So it's 111.84. And then we want this interest plus the amount we had before, 5591.8 minus 110 is the repayment. Now he owes $5,593.64. B, Explain why the loan will never be repaid if William continues to make repayments of $110 per month for 1 mark. Easy, he's not even paying off the interest. He's not touching the principal. It's never gonna get paid off. The interest is gonna pile up. Let's see what is written at the back. Yes, we got those figures. Yes, good. Loan will never be repaid as the interest charged per month is more than the monthly repayment of $110. The balance owing on the loan is increasing. There you go. Don't do what this, who is it? Don't do what William is doing. Be smarter with your money. Question 22, 3 marks. The graph shows the populations of 2 different animals, W and K. Let's make it wombat and kangaroos in a conservation park over time. The y-axis is the size of the population and the x-axis is the number of years since 1985. The wombat population is modeled by that equation and the kangaroos are modeled by that equation. Which one is which? The kangaroo is decreasing because it's 0.97 and then the wombats are increasing because it's more than 1.055. Population in 1985. A is 34, that's wombats. Kangaroos, B is 260, 70, 80, 280. Percentage yearly change in the population of wombats. It is changing at positive 5.5% per year, whereas the kangaroos are losing 3% per year, negative 3%. Predict the population when X is 50 for the wombats. The kangaroos are 61. The wombats at 50 is going to be whoop over here somewhere. And we can get that from y is equal to a, which is 34, times 1.055 to the power of x, which is 50. And we have 34 times 1.055 to the power of 50. 494.426. Okay, we can't have 0.426681 of a wombat, so we have to decide whether we want 494 or 495. Since it's 0.42, I'm going to round down. 494. 494. Okay, let's see what the answer says. We have 280, 5.5 minus 3, 494. Very good. Question 23, 3 marks. Zazu works a 38-hour week and is paid at an hourly rate of $45. Any overtime hours are paid at time and a half. In a particular week, Zazu worked the regular 38 hours and some overtime hours. In that week, Zazu earned $2,790. How many hours of overtime did they work in that week? Let's work it out. We have 38-hour week. 38 hours times $45 is what he normally earns. Let's see. $38 times 45. $1,710. So overtime monies is 2,790 minus 1,710, which is $1,080. So he earned that in overtime What is his hourly rate? Overtime rate is 45 times 1.5. 45 times 1.5, $67.50. Ooh, that's pretty sweet. 67.50. That means overtime hours is 1080 divided by 67.50. 16 hours of overtime. And then of course you can check this by working backwards and see if you can get to the $2,790 and check yourself in the test, in the exam. But I've got the answers page for this. Yes, 16 hours overtime. Yep, that's pretty much everything I did. Yep, very good. Question 24. Sarah, a 60-kilogram female, consumes 3 glasses of wine at a family dinner over 2.5 hours. Note there are 1.2 standard drinks in 1 glass of wine. The blood alcohol content for females can be estimated by this. A. Calculate her BAC at the end of the dinner correct to 3 decimal places. I should be writing here rather than all over the paper. I'll start doing it now. 60 kilograms. That's the mass. We have how many standard drinks? 3 times 1.2. 3 times 0.2, 3.6 standard drinks. And then how many number of hours since, right? Over 2.5 hours, so H is 2.5. Now we just put it into the equation. BAC female is 10 times 3.6 minus 7.5 times 2.5 all over 5.5 times 60. 10 times 3.6 minus 7.5 times 2.5 divided by 5.5 times 60. Okay, we have 0.052 to 3 decimal places. Yep, I don't like that my calculator does this. Oh, there we go. So 0.052272 ... to 3 decimal places is 0.052. Let's check if we are correct. Yep, 0.052. Excellent. I think we used all the right things. Yep, good. B. The time it takes for a person's BAC to reach 0 is given by this. Calculate the time it takes for Sarah's BAC to return to 0, assuming she stops drinking after 2.5 hours. Give your answer to the nearest minute. Okay. So we have time is equal to 0.052 all over 0.015 divided by 0.015. Okay, we have that, which is 3 degrees 29 minutes 5.45 seconds, which is 3 hours and 29 minutes. To the nearest minute. Let's see. 3 hours and 28. It's because I didn't use the rounded number. If I had used the rounded number, I probably would have gotten 3 hours and 28 minutes. Close enough. Question 25, 3 marks. Alex and June each invest $1,800 for 5 years. Alex's investment earns simple interest at a rate of 7.5% per annum. June's investment earns interest at a rate of 6% per annum, compounding quarterly. By calculating the interest earned over 5 years, determine who will have the greater amount. Let's go. Alex can have the blue color. So Alex will do here. And $1,800 at 7%. We need to find out what the simple interest is first. 0.075. And then we times 5, and we add it back to 1,800. That should do it. So 1,800 times 0.075. That should give you the interest every year. There's 5 years. That's the interest over 5 years, plus the initial amount, 1,800, $2,475. $2,475. Now let's change color. We'll move on to June. June earns 1,800 times 6% per annum, but compounding quarterly. So 6 divided by 4 is 1.5, because half is 3 and then half again is 1.5. 1.5%. So she gets 1.015 to the power of 5 times 4, so 20, because it compounds 20 times every quarter for 5 years. That means she gets 1,800 times 1.015 to the power of 20. Ooh, less than Alex. $2,424.34. So Alex will have the bigger amount. Let's see. Alex, yes. Alex earns more interest. There you go. Okay. Question 26, 3 marks. A sheet of metal is folded to make a gutter as shown. The cross-section of the gutter is a rectangle of width W and height H centimeters. The area A centimeter squared of the cross-section can be modeled by this quadratic formula. A graph of this model is shown. Find the width and height of the rectangle, which will give the greatest possible area of the cross-section. Well, looking at the graph, it is symmetrical from this line here. And if this is 0 and that's 40, then halfway would be 20. So if the width is 20, find the width and height. Centimeters. For the greatest area, we have the area is negative 0.5 times 20 squared plus 20 times 20, which is negative 0.5 times 20 squared plus 20 squared. 200 square centimeters. If that's the case, then because 20 times height equals 200, height will equal equals 10. 200 divided by 20 is 10. Therefore, maximum area occurs when width is 20 centimeters and height is 10 centimeters. Let's check the answers. There we go. Question 27, 3 marks. A couple borrows $30,000 to be repaid in equal monthly repayments of $280 over 10 years. After following this repayment plan for 5 years, they decided to decrease their monthly repayment to $250. As a result, it will take them an additional 2 years to pay off this loan. How much more will they repay in total by making this change? Alright. Oops. Let's see. Borrows $30,000 to be repaid in equal monthly repayments of $280 per month over 10 years, for 10 years. So how much would that be total planned repayment? It's 280 80 times 12 times 10. So they were planning to repay $33,600. But then, after 5 years of doing this, 5 years, would be they would have paid 280 times 12 times 5, which is half the amount of that. Let's just do it correctly. 280 times 12 times 5. That is $16,800. And then they decided for the next 5 years, so this is first 5 years, this next 5 years, they're going to pay only $250. Actually, it's not next 5 years, it's next 7 years, because it takes them additional 2 years to pay off every month for 7 years. How much is that? 250 times 12 times 7. $21,000. Total, they would have paid $3,780, which is how much extra? 3,780 minus 3,600 is $4,200. How much more will they repay? They have to repay $4,200 more. Yeah. Question 28, 3 marks again. Flowers were planted in 2 gardens, gardens A and B. On a particular day, 25 flowers were randomly selected from each garden and their heights measured in millimeters. The data as represented by the box plots. Compare the 2 data sheets by examining the skewness of the distribution and the measures of central tendency and spread. Wow, that's a lot. Okay. Garden A skews negatively and garden B skews positively. Measures of central tendencies. It has a mean of about, garden A has a mean of about 172, whereas garden B is about 152-ish. Maybe that's 171. That's 152. So garden A is much taller than garden B. And then the spread. Garden A has a lot more variations. It spreads from 145 centimeters or millimeters, sorry, to 185 millimeters, whereas garden B is only from about 144 to 172. So it's a lesser spread than garden A. What else does it want to know? I can't be bothered. Let's have a look at the answers. The data set for garden A is negatively skewed. Did I say that? Negatively skewed? Anyway, you can you can rewind and see if I got it right or not. Garden B is positively skewed. Yeah. The median for garden A is higher than the median for garden B. Yes, sorry, I thought that was the mean. What's the median? It is the median. Sorry about that. I said the mean before. So the median is higher for A than B. The IQR of garden A, interquartile range that stands for, is larger than the IQR of garden B. Let's have a look. The interquartile range, this range is what they're talking about. Spread, okay. The interquartile range is bigger than the interquartile range of garden B. Yes. What else is accepted? The range of garden A is larger than the range of garden B. That's what I was talking about, the absolute range from the smallest to the tallest. But they also accept the interquartile range. Alright, all fine by me. Question 29, 4 marks. The graph shows the decreasing value of an asset. The first 4 years, the value of the asset depreciated by $1,500 per year using a straight line method of depreciation. After the end of the 4th year, the method of depreciation changed to the declining balance method at the rate of 35% per annum. What is the total depreciation at the end of 10 years? Total depreciation. So it wants to know how much has been lost, if I'm reading that correctly. So the first 4 years, it decreased by 1,500 times 4, which is 6,000 dollars, meaning the value is now 4 years value is now 50,000 minus 6,000, which is $44,000. And then for the next 6 years, it's decreasing by 35% per annum. So 6 years, actually we'll call it the 10-year value. After 10 years, 44,000 times 0.65 to the power of 6, because it's per annum in this 6 years. Okay, what is that? 44,000 times 0.65 to the power of 6. It's worth very low now. It matches the graph because it's quite low. What does it want? The total depreciation. The total depreciation would be 50,000 minus 3318.43. It has depreciated $46,681.57. That's quite a lot, but it matches the graph. It has depreciated quite a lot. Let's see if we're right. Yes, total depreciation. Yep, very good. Question 30, 3 marks. A researcher is studying anacondas, a type of snake. A data set recording the age in years and the length in centimeters of female and male anacondas. It is displayed on the graph. Anacondas reach maturity at about age 4 years of age. Write 3 observations about anacondas that may be made from the scatter plot. Note, no calculations are required. It's not the best the best thing you can read here. Not for me though, because I love calculations, so I don't really like this type of questions. But let's see what we can do here. I can see straight away that the females keep growing after maturity, whereas the males kind of are more stagnant. The length doesn't really increase after 4 years of age. So that's one. What's another one? Females are generally longer than males. I can see even while they're juvenile, they are much bigger in length than males. So that's number 2. Number 3, as they mature, as they reach the 4 years of age, the females are growing faster than the males by the gradient. Looking at the gradient of the 2 lines here, the males grow at a slower rate, females at a higher rate. And then after maturity, the females keep on growing, males not so much. So that's number 3. So 1, females keep growing after maturity. Males kind of slows down growth. 2, females are always longer than males, pretty much. And then 3, going to maturity, females are growing faster in length than males. Let's see what they say. Female anacondas grow at a faster rate than males. Both females and males continue to grow after 4 years. Okay. Females are longer than males. Yep. All right, fair enough. I probably got 2 out of those 3 points, but whatever. Good enough. Let's keep going. Question 31. 3 marks. A coin is biased so that it is twice as likely to show a head than a tail. A. What is the probability of obtaining a head with 1 throw of this coin? It's twice as likely to show a head, which means it's 2 out of 3. Right? So 1/3 would be tails, 2/3 will be heads. So probability is 2/3. I should write it down properly. Probability of head is 2/3, like that. B. In 2 throws of this coin, what is the probability of obtaining at least 1 head? So what's that like? So we have head, head, or head, tail, or tail, head. Or we could say probability of not both tails. I think I'll do that one. So probability of not both tails is 1 minus 1/3 times 1/3, which is 1/3 squared. So it's 1 minus 9th, which is 8/9. Let's see. It's 2/3, good. Probability of no heads, which is both tails, is 1/9. Probability of at least 1 head is 1 minus 1/9, which is 8/9. Excellent. Question 32, 4 marks. A regular pentagon ABCDE is drawn inside a circle with a radius of 30 centimeters from O at the center. So already I can say each one of those lines are 30 centimeters. What is the area of the shaded region of the circle? Correct to 2 significant figures. All right. Circle, the area of a circle is pi r squared. It's pi 30 centimeters squared. So that's 900 pi square centimeters. I'm just going to leave it in that form. The area of the pentagon is made up of 5 of these triangles with 30 centimeter of OC of these sides coming out from the center. If I find the area of one triangle times 5, I'll find the area of all the pentagon. Question is, how do I do that? Area half AB sine C. Yeah, we can do that. Area of the triangle is half AB sine the other angle, C. So we got half times A, which is 30, B is also 30, sine 72 degrees. So we have 900 on 2, which is 450, sine 72 degrees. Now we have the area of the shaded region is the circle minus the minus the pentagon, which is 450 sine 72 degrees times 5. Almost forgot the times 5 there. Let's see what we got. You guys are probably not used to seeing this. You don't have to do it this way. If you're more comfortable with getting the decimal number and then using the decimals to minus, that's fine too. I'm doing this so that I can keep it as accurate as possible. So 900 pi minus 5 times 450 sine 72 degrees. I get 687.556 ... They want it to 2 significant figures, which would be 690 square centimeters. Ooh, I hope I got this one right. Yeah, 690. So see, they change it all to decimals and then use that. That's fine too. I like doing this so I don't have to deal with decimals. Question 33. Wombats can run at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour over short distances. At this speed, how many seconds would it take a wombat to run 150 meters? Let's see, a wombat is 40 kilometers per hour, which is 40,000 meters per 60 minutes. And then what's that per minute? We do 40,000 divided by 60. We get 666 2/3 meters per minute. Let's scrap this, and instead I'm going to divide by 800 on 3 on both sides. If I do that, I'm going to get 150 meters on this side, and then 60 divided by that is 0.225 minutes. What is 0.225 minutes in seconds? It's 0.225 times 60. 13.5 seconds. I hope you followed that. Okay, let's see if I'm right. Yes, 13.5 seconds. Question 34, 4 marks. A container for soccer balls is made using 2 half spheres joined to each end of a cylindrical body. 3 soccer balls fit exactly inside this container. Each ball has a diameter of 23 centimeters. The hemispherical ends of the container just touch the surface of the soccer balls. What is the total surface area of this container? Give your answer in square meters, correct to 1 decimal place. This is a fun one. I like this one. Let's see. We have a sphere in which the diameter is 23 centimeters. Okay, the surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared. So r is half of 23, which is 11.5. So 4 pi 11.5 squared. Just checking, 23 divided by 2. 11.5, good, square it, times 4. 529, that's nice. 529 pi square centimeters. So that's the ends of the surface area for the ends. Now it's the cylinder. The surface area of the cylinder part is actually just a rectangle if you unfurl the cylinder, and the length of this that goes around like that is the circumference of the sphere. So circumference is 2 pi r, and then the height. Oh, what is the height? Okay, it's 23, and it's 2 soccer balls, half and half makes one, and then another one. So that's actually 46 centimeters. So surface area of the rectangle or cylinder, this is the sphere, is going to be 46 times 2 pi 11.5. 46 times 2 pi times 11.5. Yeah, that is 1058 pi square centimeters. Therefore, the total surface area, oh, that's terrible like that, is 529 pi plus 1058 pi. What does it want? Square meters. Is it square meters that they want? Oh my goodness. All this time I'm doing square centimeters. I'll change it at the end. So that plus 529 pi. Oops. Pi equals, we change that to decimals. That is 4985705 ... square centimeters. Now, how many square centimeters is in a square meter? Square meter is 100 centimeters. 100 centimeters, so that's 10,000 square centimeters is 1 square meter. So we divide this by 10,000. What does it want to 1 decimal place? 0.5 square meters. Let's check the answers. Yep, 0.5 square meters. Nice. Question 35 worth 5 marks. A random variable is normally distributed with a mean of 0 and standard deviation of 1. The table gives the probability that this random variable is less than z. Let me study this a little bit more. Okay, if z is whatever it is, that's the probability of getting less than that. The probability values given in the table for different values of z are represented in the shaded area in the following diagram. The scores in a university examination with a large number of candidates are normally distributed with a mean of 58 and standard deviation of 15. A. By calculating a z-score, find the percentage of scores that are between 58 and 70. Okay, z-score is... how do I do z-scores? Let's find out. We're on question 35. Z-scores, we've got the x minus the mean over the standard deviation. Let's go back. 35. Z-score, what have we got? Z-score, find the percentage of scores between... Okay, we need the 70 one. 70 minus 58 over 15. Because the 58 is the mean, so that means that's the z-score of 0. So we need to find the z-score of the 70. Let's see, 70 minus 58 divided by 15.8. Okay, z-score of 0.8. Okay, this is a little tricky here. Z-score of 0.8. Look, that's terrible. Let's try that again. Still terrible, but whatever. Z-score of 0.8. The probability of getting everything below that is 0.7881. If you, but we want the probability of getting in between 58 and 70. For 58, it's the mean. It's literally down the middle. So anything below that will be 0.5. So between the score of 70 and 58, it is, so the percentage of scores would be 0.788 minus 0.5, which is 0.288. Find the percentage. The percentage is 28.8%. So I shouldn't write that here. It says scores. Whoops. Scores between 58 and 70. There's 28.8% chance of getting it there. Let's check. Yep. Where did the 1 come from? 77881. Oh, I forgot the 1. Oh, I did forget the 1. Here you go. 1, 1, 1. There. B. Explain why the percentage of scores between 46 and 70 is twice your answer to part A. 46, is that 12 under? Yeah, it's 12 under, because it's exactly on the other side of the mean. So 70 is 0.8 z-score above the mean, and 46 is 0.8 z-score below the mean. Therefore, since it's symmetrical, the normally distributed standard deviation graph, if it's the same distance away from the mean, it's going to be the same percentage on either side. Therefore, It's twice the percentage. How will they word it? Let me see. Yeah, it's negative 0.8. By symmetry, the area between 46 and 58 is equal to the area between 58 and 70. So the percentage will be twice. Yeah. They worded it much more eloquently than I can. So follow what they say. C. By using the values in the table above, find an approximate minimum score that a candidate would need to be placed in the top 10% of the candidates. They need to be 1.3 Z-score or above. What did I say? I said they need to have at least 1.3 Z-score or above. We're trying to find the score. The mean is still 58. The standard deviation is still 15. So we just switch that around. We have 1.3 times 15 equals x minus 58. X will equal 1.3 times 15 plus 58 equals 1.3 times 15 plus 58. They need to have a score of 77.5 or above. Oh, minimum score, sorry. So minimum score, therefore, minimum score is 77.5. Let's see if that's right. Approximately minimum score is 77. Okay, fair enough. Answers could include 78. Wow. Oh, they can't have half scores? 0.5 scores? I didn't know that the score has to be integers. I didn't know it couldn't have 0.5. It wasn't clear here that it can't have half scores, half marks. But anyway, hopefully they would have still ticked it for this answer. Let's move on. 36, 4 marks. The diagram shows two vertical flagpoles B, E, and C, D set on sloping ground. What is the height of flagpole BE? Correct to 1 decimal place worth 2 marks. BE, we have a triangle, 106 degrees, 53.8 meters, and 27 degrees. And we are trying to find the height of BE. This one we can use the sine rule for it. So we have, actually I'll just stick to BE. BE over sine 27 degrees is going to equal 53.8 on sine 106 degrees. So BE is going to equal 53.8 sine 27 degrees on sine 106 degrees. 53.8 sine 27 on sine 106. Okay, we've got 25.40899 ... and it's all rounded to 1 decimal place. I can see over there, so I'm going to do the same. 25.4 meters. Let's check if I'm right first. 25.4 meters, good. B, what is the height of flagpole CD? Correct to 1 decimal place. I'm just going to write this down on this page. This is 25.4 meters. Then I'll clear this off. Now, what is the height of CD? Okay. first of all, I'm gonna find, I need to find the length of this. If I can find the length of BX, then I can find the rest XE, because I could just minus it from 25.4. And I'm going to use this right angle triangle to help me. I'm going to get this angle first. That angle would be 180 minus 106, so that's 74 degrees in there. 74 degrees. That one would be 16 degrees then. 16 and 74 makes 90. Good. Another 90 is 180. That's good. That's 20 meters. And I want to find the length of that. I could use the sine rule again, actually, because we have the side and the corresponding angle, a side and the corresponding angle. I can't see why I couldn't do that, so I'm going to do it. X over sine 16 degrees is equal to 20 on sine 74 degrees. X is equal to 20 sine 16 degrees on sine 74 degrees. That's 5.7349 ... Therefore, CD is going to equal 25.4 minus 5.7349 ... It is 19.665 ... And it wants it to one decimal place again, 19.7 meters. Let's check. 19.7 meters. Wow, nice. Ah, it uses tan. Oh, of course. Yeah, you could do that. Opposite over adjacent. Yes, that's possible too. I did it a different way, but this is definitely one of the methods you can use. Okay, question 37, 2 marks only. Sakura will travel from Sydney to Rio de Janeiro. Yep, the flight from Sydney to Rio will take 20 hours. The flight will arrive at Rio de Janeiro at 3 p.m. on Wednesday, 20th of July. On what day and what time will Sakura leave Sydney? Let's do this. Sydney to Rio. This is a plus 10. This is a minus 3. Flight from Rio will take 20 hours. And they'll arrive at 3 p.m. on Wednesday, 20th of July. What day and time did Sakura leave? Okay. I'm gonna say, what is 20 hours ago? 20 hours ago. So a full 24 hours ago would be 3 p.m. Tuesday, 19th of July. That'll be a full 24 hours. But 20 would mean it's less backwards. So it's actually, so 20 hours would not be 3 p.m. It'll be 4 hours after this. After? Yes, so it was 7 p.m. actually. Yep, that's right. That's 20 hours ago. 7 p.m. on Tuesday, 19th of July. 20 hours ago. Now, that's 20 hours ago in Rio. What is that time in Sydney? Sydney is ahead by a full 13 hours. So now we have to go forward 13 hours. What is that? 7 p.m. plus 12 hours would be 7 a.m. on Wednesday. So it'll be actually 8 a.m. Wednesday, 20th of July. Oh man, I am so confused right now, but it's worth 2 marks. We can't spend too long on this, so let's check the answers. 8 a.m. Wednesday. Oh, wow, nice. Question 38, 3 marks. A cake is constructed using a cylinder and a cone-shaped top. Of course it is. The cylinder has a diameter of 30 centimeters. The cylinder, okay, cylinder has a diameter of 30 centimeters and 6 centimeter height. Nothing about the cone. Okay, the ratio of the volume of the cylinder to the volume of the cone is 5:1. So the volume of the cylinder to the volume of the cone is 5:1. The cake is to be cut into equal slices with volume 212 cubic centimeters. How many equal slices can be cut from this cake? Wow, okay. We need to find the volume. The volume of the cylinder is pi r squared h. And that is pi 15 squared times 6. 15 squared times 6. So the volume is 1350 pi cubic centimeters. The volume of the cylinder, which is, we now know is 1350 pi, is 5 times, is it 5 times? Yes, 5 times as big as the volume of the cone. So if we divide by 5, the cone is 270 pi in volume. So the total volume is just these two added up, plus 1350. Total volume is 1620 pi cubic centimeters. The cake is to be cut into equal slices with volume 212 cubic centimeters. How many equal slices? Equal slices, number of equal slices equals 1620 pi divided by 212 times pi divided by 212. We can have 24.0065 of those pieces, so therefore we can have 24 slices. I hope I got this. Let's find out. 38. Yeah, 24 slices to the nearest whole slice. Nice. Question 39, 3 marks. A project involving 9 activities is shown in the network diagram. The duration of each activity is not yet known. The following table gives the earliest start time and the latest start time for 3 of the activities. All times are in hours. What is the critical path? Okay. Let's redraw this. Activity A, the earliest start time is 0. The latest start time is 2. C, the earliest start time is 0. The latest start time is 1. I, the earliest start time is 12. The latest start time is also 12. What is the critical path? It has to be the middle, because the critical path cannot have any lag time. It can't start later. So I'm guessing it's not A, because it can wait for 2 hours before it starts, which isn't, that means it's not critical. Same with C, it can wait for an hour before it starts, therefore it's not critical. Therefore, B, E, G, I is the critical path. B, E, G, I. Let's check. As there are float times for A and C, the critical path is B, E, G, I. B, the minimum time required for this project to be completed is 19 hours. What is the duration for activity I? 7 hours, because it starts at 12 and it completed 19, so 7 hours. Let's find out. Yep, 19 minus 12, 7. The duration of activity C is 3 hours. Okay, that's 3 hours. This is 7 hours. What is the maximum amount of time that could occur between the start of activity F and the end of activity H? What is the maximum amount of time that could occur? Maximum amount of time that could occur between the start of activity F. So this could start at hour 3. That's a 3. Latest start time would be 4 for activity F, because it could wait for 1 hour. And then this latest end time would be 12. Latest end time is 12. So it's 12 minus 3. So that's 9 hours. Maximum amount of time that could occur. Yeah, 9 hours. 12 minus 3. Let's see. Yeah. What? Question 40, 3 marks. A compass radial survey is shown. Given that AC is a straight line, yep, AC is a straight line, find the bearing of C from O, correct to the nearest degree. If AC is a straight line, what can we say from that? So we want, the question's asking for this angle here. How do we get that angle? We can get this one here from this triangle. This triangle, oh, we have some info. B is 110 degrees. Let me change color. So from there to there is 110 degrees. So if we can find the angle of just this one here from this triangle, then we can just add it to 110. Oh, of course. AC is a straight line. That means that... okay, let me change color again. From here to there is 180 degrees. What can we learn from that then? That means I need this angle in here in triangle ABO. If I can get that angle, I can minus it from 180 and I'll get this angle here, and I can add it to the 110, and that will give me the full, that will give me the bearing. Okay, I'm going to redraw the triangle ABO. I want this angle here. This is 42 meters. This is 40 meters. And I want that angle. How do I get it? How do I get it? The only triangle that has full sides values is ADO. And that way I can find this angle here. Maybe that will give us a start. Let's find out. So AOD 67.5, 42, and 38 meters. And I want this angle here. I'm going to have to use the cosine rule for this one. So we have A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. In this case, A is this angle here. Disregard that letter A would be that angle there. That means side A would be 67.5 squared. B is 38 squared plus C 42 squared minus 2, 38 times 42 cos A. Let's do a little bit at a time with this one. It's pretty long. 67.5 squared. Okay, we have 4556.25 equals 38 squared plus 42 squared equals 3208 minus 2 times 38 times 42. 3192 cos A. I'm going to plus this on both sides and minus that on both sides. We're going to get 3192 cos A is going to equal 3208 minus 4556.25. We're going to get negative 1348.25. So cos A is going to equal negative 1348.25 over 3192 over 3192. It's going to be that. Shift cos answer equals. So A is going to be 114 degrees 59 minutes 6.71 seconds. That looks about right. From north to here is 285 degrees. That means change color again. That means this little bit here is 360 minus 285 degrees. 360 divided, not divided, minus 285. 75 degrees. So this here is 75 degrees, and we just found that the angle in that triangle there is 114 degrees 59 minutes and 6.71 seconds. That means we can find this little bit here. Let me just get rid of that. Now, this little bit here is going to be 114 degrees, 59 minutes, 6.71 seconds minus 75 degrees. So that little bit there is 39 degrees, 59 minutes, 6.71 seconds. And we know that AC is a straight line, so this is 180 degrees. Therefore, the bearing of C from O is 180 plus 39 degrees, 59 minutes, 6.1. So we just need to plus 180 to this, and we get 219 degrees, 219 degrees, 59 minutes, 6.71 seconds, but they want it to the nearest degree, and that is almost 220 degrees. That is my final answer. The bearing of C from O is 220 degrees. Let's check question 40. Yep, they did exactly what we did. Yeah, that's good. 220 degrees. We have arrived on the last question. Question 41 worth 4 marks. I'm so happy to be here. You have no idea, it's almost midnight. Okay, 25 years ago, Phoenix deposited a single sum of money into a new bank account, earning 2.4% interest per annum compounding monthly. Present value interest factors for an annuity of $1 for various interest rates and periods are given in the table below. Phoenix made the following withdrawals from this account: $2,000 at the end of each month for the first 15 years starting at the end of the first month, $1,200 at the end of each month for the next 10 years starting at the end of the 181st month after the account was opened. Oh my gosh, okay. Calculate the minimum sum that Phoenix could have deposited in order to make these withdrawals. Wow. This is a lot to take in. We have 2.4% interest per annum. Gosh, black is so boring. I'm going to turn back to pink. 2.4% interest per annum compounding monthly. What is that per month? 2.4 divided by 12, so 0.2% per month. The rate is 0.0, how many, so hang on, 0.2% per month. That means that is 0.002 per month. Present value interest factors for an annuity of $1. So we're interested in this one here. $2,000 each month for 15 years. Wait, that's not what I wanted. I want to know the period. So period is 12 months for 15 years. Aha, 180. That's the magic number that we wanted, because that's the 181st month. So it's 180, so we want that one. So this is the one we want. This is actually a two-part question where we're looking at two different periods here, and it's a bit tricky Because you'd think that you're looking for 15 years period. So this is the 15 years period, which is 180 periods. And then you think you need a 10-year period, but that's not true. You actually need 25-year periods, because so you have to look at it like this, where you take out 1,200 from the very beginning every month for 25 years, but the first 15 years you take out an extra $800 because it's $2,000, right? But look at it like you're taking $1,200, but an extra $800 on top of that, if that makes sense. I'll do the calculations, maybe it'll come to you. So the other period that I need is the 25-year period, which will be 12 times 25. And that's 300 periods, which is this row here. So we're looking at these two values. The first one would be the money needed for the 1,200, and that's gonna times by 225.43. 1,200 times 225.43, and that is 270,516. Then the $800 that's extra for the first 15 years, which is 151.036. 800 times 151.036, and that needs an extra 120,828.80. So in total, it needs these two added together plus 270,516, and you're gonna need 391,344.80 at the very beginning. Hope that makes sense. Let's see what they say. Yeah, 0.002 for 25 years. You need $270,000. For first 15 years, you need to have an extra 120,000. So total 391,344.8. Excellent. That one was a tricky one. Maybe try to do a few more of these questions to get the hang of it. But once you get the hang of it, it's actually quite easy. It's just the way you have to think about how the money is taken out. I hope that helps. I am going to go to bed now. I'm so tired. But good luck on your HSC, and I'll see you next time.